Alright, I'm going to be taking you guys out on a little hike, and I'm going to show you a few different tricks I know in Michigan. It's a little rainy out today, but we'll have some fun and show you maybe a little wildlife if we see it. I'm just going to show you what it was like growing up here and what I did most of my life. So let's go for a little hike back in the woods. Never hated the cherries here. Not only the cherries, but all the multiple apple trees. Not ripe yet. Come over here and we have grapes. Concord grapes right there. More grapes. And here we have kiwi. So here's kiwi. There's some right there. Dad's always raised bees here. Grandpa loved to raise bees. So I usually get a shipment of beeswax and some honey with the honeycomb in it, fresh from home. So I'm just hiking back on the trails here. Okay, see that? I'm thinking of some things I'm going to do here just to show you. I want to show you a little bit of what it's like back here and how I grew up. You know, I grew up cutting up lots of wood. We have a wood burner that heats water coils. Heats your house for free, you just got to do the work. But that was a good skill to learn growing up. But this is a trail that I hiked many times growing up, and I was thinking one thing I want to show you is the cabin. And I'd also like to, a couple tricks I want to show you was, you know, how to make a container out here, because that's one thing if you didn't have and you didn't know how to make one, that'd be a big issue. So I'm going to show you how I make containers in Michigan, and you could do this as well in other areas. You just have to find the right materials. I'm going to use birch bark. The cherry bark works too, and there's probably many other woods that would probably work just as well. Take a piece of this out, and you can make a cone container or a rectangle container. So you need to check this tree. Where's the holes? Where's the knots? Okay, look around here. Seems pretty good right here, from about here to here. So I'm going to make a slice. Okay, and I'm going to cut this out all the way around. So I'm going to carefully just cut around this. Try to get all the way around. I'm going to not lean on that. Okay, and then I'm going to very carefully, without puncturing this, I'm going to slice right through this. I need to get this perfectly cut out. Okay? Just like this, I'm going to take the go very carefully. You want to get down there as far as you can, so this peels off good for you. I've got a really nice way to make a container here. Better. I grab 2 of these. These are little sticks of maple that I'm going to use to make pegs with, or like a clothespin. And this is going to hold the side of my bowl, my birch bark bowl, together. And there's a reason I like this method, because you can lay this one flat. It's better to make than a cone. A cone won't work as well for you because you can't just set it on the ground. It's much better to just use a flat piece like this. The bigger the better, obviously. But this is all I could get. I actually had to cut a piece off because there was a big knot in it. But you want to kind of heat it up to make it pliable. Keep it as thick as you can. You got to peel a little bit of that outer bark off. See, it gets nice and pliable when you heat it up. You obviously don't want to stick it right on the flame because you will you'll burn it. You know, birch bark has oils in it. And I just got a fire going with some hot coals, so I don't have to set this thing on fire, but I can get it nice and hot, so it'll be easily folded for me. Okay, you're just going to go up as far as you think is about even, so each side can get about the same, because that's what you're going to have to do to get the tallest bowl. Okay, you would fold that. Okay, you're taking the corner and folding it in half. Okay, you're making this shape. Alright, and then you take that and fold it over like this. We're going to heat that up again. Get it nice and flexible. I'm going to just slowly fold it over, because again, I want to keep this thick. We don't want to go, you don't need to like pinch the creases in, you know, like you're folding a piece of paper and you want them creases perfect, because then you're just going to rip your birch bark bowl. Just give it a nice fold over. You don't need to like really pinch them in. That's alright if there's a little bit of roundness. You want it to just go where its weakest points are so you don't tear it. So you're just going to fold that over nice and easy. That's it. Okay, and then you're going to come over to this side, heat this side up. You're going to do the same thing. Make sure you fold it on that same angle as the other one. See, and I'm hitting a knot down there, so that's as big as I can go. I don't want to risk it with that knot. So now I've got a shape that's like that right there. And I need to split this peg, not all the way. See, I sharpen it to a point because then it's easier to get your split going. Yeah, just find a good spot right there in the center. And you don't want to go too much, just take it a little bit of time, because you don't want to have to keep making a bunch of these clothespins. And you just want, you know, a big enough gap to and when you're done, you know, it's easier to just split the thing. Just heat this back up real quick. Okay, you're going to take this and you're going to pull your knife out after you get it over. Secure that. You're going to stick it on there as tight as you can. Okay. Got that all the way down there. This is nice and tight. It's not coming out. Okay, so there's part of my bowl. For this side I made a really long piece so I could get it a little bit wider, because this side's a little bit wider. And I went ahead and made that piece. Slides over nicely. Get that on there nice and tight. Clean out all the shavings. We're gonna show you how well this thing holds water. Okay. You can boil this water in this container. Like I said, you just gotta hold it above them coals, and it'll actually do quite well for you. You just gotta find if there's any leaks, where it's leaking, patch it up. Okay. But it's holding water just fine. And that is a birch bark container. I got a water vine here. Okay. This is a grapevine. We're going to take this up as high as we can. Alright? We're going to come down here. Take it off down here. Okay. We're going to hopefully get a little bit of drinking water. Okay. We got some water coming out. You can see what I got going on here. I got these water vines dripping into here, catching this water for me. These are our water vines we use to hang, to drip into our birch bark container. And now, you don't have to really let them go to waste. I'm just going to take them off the string. Okay, and then we're going to put these two down. Now what these can be used for, usually you'd grab small vines for cordage. Get yourself a good slice going on here. Okay. Okay, see what's going on here? See that? You can process those big vines into lashings for your shelter, make a bow drill string if you had to. Now the inside of this doesn't work as good as the outside. It just kind of falls apart, so you're going to use like that outer layer for your cordage, like the bark, where the bark is. And I mean, it's, like I said, it's quite strong. And you just take all that outer layer off with that first inner layer of bark, and you got yourself some decent cordage back here. Okay, so let nothing go to waste that you waste calories on. Just beyond this swampy mess, we have one of a few various deer blinds hidden up in there. This is a good deer run. Did a lot of hunting right here growing up. There's a deer run that goes right there all the way up into this swamp. Grabbed a pile of birch bark here. It's pretty wet, but I'm going to show you how well it works with a ferro rod. You can get drier stuff underneath the outside layer, and that's what this is. It's the more pink colored, like this right here. Okay, this, like you can tell that right there, this is fairly dry. I should be using this piece. Just kind of cut it down a little bit. Okay, once you get your dry stuff right here, you got your little bit of wet stuff there. Just kind of shower that dry stuff with sparks. she'll catch just like that. And you just feed the stuff that's not quite as dry right on top. She'll start to go. Bring your board with your birch bark under your kindling. And you've got flame. Birch bark's high in oil content, so it'll burn quite well for you. So I was off taking a break from making this bow. Grabbed a little bit of spruce, because you don't get this everywhere. Up north, it's a delicacy for me. So I went and grabbed some water here in my canteen and grabbed some spruce. There's some spruce right behind me, you can see. It's basically like drinking Christmas time. So if you love the smell of Christmas trees, it tastes just as good. Best thing to flavor it with is sugar, more so than honey like you would with pine needles. But spruce is different. Spruce is just a little bit of sugar or no sugar at all, and it's just drinking a healthy vitamin C tea. So all you got to do is take these needles, and I just dunk the whole thing right in my tea and just kind of like a tea bag, pull it right out when I'm done. That's all you got to do. You don't have to chop them up so you have little needles running around. Obviously you get more oils by processing them up a little bit, but you'll get enough by doing this. If you want to make it a little better, take a few needles and cut them in half, and that'll release some oils. Okay, I used just a little piece of kindling here. You put that through this hole here. That gives you your leverage to lift this off the fire without frying your hands. Okay, that's just a mouth spreader is all that is. Alright. Then I got my awesome tea sitting in there, ready to be steeped. Because you got to steep it, just like pine needles. So I'm going to go ahead and pour me some water in there, let that steep up, and enjoy that. Just wanted to show you that little tidbit. If you want to drink Christmas trees, grab some spruce. It's just wonderful. Right here is my favorite place in the entire world. This is the cabin. A field out here. Little fire pit in the yard. Okay, this is about in the middle of our property. And this right here is because of me and my buddies. We used to camp when I was really young, all the way in the back of the property, and we always said we wanted a cabin to stay in. Well, my dad and my grandpa and me started making it, and this is what we came up with. It has everything you need to survive. You need nothing else. This water storage here. Big drum in there. Hold water. If you had to get water on your own. This is totally sustainable. You could easily collect rainwater and drip it in there. That right there holds propane. Got our wood pile here. That's what the bottom is. We even have gas lines running here all the way up to the stove, right up there. Okay, it's elevated so you can hunt out of it. You got alfalfa planted out here. You can see you got lots of oxalis all over the ground. That's all oxalis. You could get little nibbles here and there out of that. There's a ton of it. You even got some raspberries and blackberries down here too. I'll take you up inside. That's where we hold the batteries. On top of the roof there's a solar panel. Take you upstairs here. You gotta watch the raccoons. They like to leave presents on your doorstep. Okay, we step inside the cabin. This is where I spend a lot of my time here. Okay, we got a perfect little table, granite floor, easy to clean. Granite countertops, good for cutting. Here's our stove. I did a lot of cooking with this stove. Got a lot of mounts up in here. This is my grandpa's favorite spot too. And here's the living quarters. The big room here, the kitchen's 12 by 12. This one here's 10 by 10. It's the Eastern Diamondback hide right there. It's like the one I showed you in Florida. Nice little bed. Everything's made of wood. Even got a bathroom in here. It's a pretty perfect setup. You got gas lights. You also have electric lights, which are what's here. And that ladder there leads up to this little bed up there. It's a perfect little spot. Okay, and if we talk about shelter, you got to think, while building a shelter in a situation, you're not going to be able to improvise something like this. But you can use what this thing offers to your advantage. For instance, this has insulation. It has moisture barriers. It's got bedding / carpeting, so you can get yourself up off the ground and be comfortable. Okay, you got to find ways to create what this offers. It traps heat. It has a stove that reflects heat into this room, and the smoke goes out. So if you're going to put a fire in your shelter, how can you get the smoke to go out? There's a reason you do that, because you can't breathe smoke. Okay, so you need to think about building shelters out in the wild. What does your house offer? How can you put add-ons on your shelter to make it better? Okay, you're not going to get wet inside here. You're not going to get cold inside here. You can cook your food in here. That's what you're looking for. Okay, and I wanted to show you the cabin because I love it, and just talk a little bit about shelter making. We've got a bird talking to us out here. That is the coolest thing. Now that is going to be a cool video. Here he comes again. The nice game. Just clear in here. How about that for a buck rub? Here's my hand. One there. One here. One here. These are all cedar trees too that it's rubbing on. Another one there. Another massive one here. Now them right there are some buck rubs. That's a good thing. People have been starting using deer management around here and it's paying off. Out in this field here, it's got some cool stuff, lots of plantain. There's broadleaf plantain. Come over here, we got some poor man's pepper grass. Just take that whole handful, you can eat the whole thing, put it on anything you're cooking. It's spicy, just bite one and taste some juices, it's real spicy. There's also its cousin I saw here. Let's find it. Right here. This is shepherd's purse. Okay, it's not shaped like a circle, it's more like a heart. See that there? Those are edible as well. Same thing. Not as spicy. Get him in, Dylan.
Right underneath when I tell you. Not yet. Rachel, you ready? Rachel, go. There you go. You got it!
Yeah, that's a good size one there, huh?